Capricorn season is here to help us get grounded and set our sights where it makes sense. On December 21st, the sun is going to enter the sign of Capricorn, and yes, Capricorn season begins. This is also the solstice. So when the sun enters the sign of Capricorn, up here in the northern hemisphere where I am, we are entering into our darkest night of the year, where it's not the coldest, but it's the darkest. We have the least amount of daylight on this day. If you're in the south, this is going to be your summer solstice. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it, because here it's we're hunkering down. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which was the planet farthest away to the ancients, and its temperament is cold. And cold is associated with being solitary. So entering these winter months where we have Capricorn, well, not months, but zodiacal seasons rather. Capricorn season and Aquarius season are ruled by Saturn. They are cold, they are solitary. And so what we're doing is we're conserving our energy and we're planning for our world takeover is what's going on. There's a lot of ambition and drive associated with the sign of Capricorn. It's ruled by the goat, and we've seen those pictures of goats climbing up the mountains. They don't seem to be afraid of anything. So Capricorn is not just concerned with the climb, but it's also concerned with the journey and being very prepared for the journey and not wanting to rush into anything, wanting to be very methodical and very patient about such a big, tremendous taking on of something. And the sign of Capricorn gets so much emphasis on the climb and the goals. But what's important to also acknowledge about this sign is that it's not just a goat. It is a mythological, precious, mystical creature of the Seagoat. And it's interesting that these Saturnian signs have this presence of water in their imagery, right? Because it's the water, it's the feelings of that Capricorn experiences that we want to propel us to go somewhere. We're not going to sit and wallow. We're going to do something about it. Because something that Capricorn wants is to be taken seriously. And to do that, you got to have some realm of expertise. So those might be things that we're thinking about with all these planets in Capricorn. We've got Venus in Capricorn, we've got Mercury spending 2 months in Capricorn, and now we have the sun. So we're thinking a little bit more pessimistically, because we're cautious. We want to see what's going to work and be realistic about it. And we may be planning something. I know I'm definitely planning something. And so I want to take this minute to share with you, my listeners here on this platform, that because we're going to go into what Capricorn season is going to bring. And I want to tell you that I'm due to have a baby in the very early to mid phase of Aquarius season. That's when I'm due. So if I just drop off and you're not seeing any videos or content from me, don't worry. That's what I'm doing. And I plan to occasionally drop in and offer like a fourth house edition of my astrology shots. But if you don't hear from me for a few weeks, that is why. So I just wanted to sneak that in there. So let's talk about Capricorn season. So Capricorn season, some of the biggest highlights that we have for Capricorn season is, well, there's a Mercury retrograde going on in Capricorn. So definitely check out my Mercury in Capricorn video. It covers the retrograde that's going to begin on December 29th. So that's going on. And there's like a big recall to last year's Capricorn Venus retrograde. So definitely go ahead and check that out. On the 1st of January, Venus is going to reunite with Pluto. And the last time that happened, it was that whole Venus retrograde conjunct Pluto drama of last year. So that should be a big one right there on the turning of the new year. So big relationship stories there and financial. We've got a full moon in Cancer on January 6th. We always love a full moon in Cancer because the moon is at home in the sign of Cancer. So we'll talk more about that when we get there. There's Mercury Cazimi shortly thereafter. So lots of things coming to light for us right there in that first week of January. That might be a time that you start really doing some of your New Year's resolution planning, but maybe you don't want to do it until after Mars stations retrograde on January, or stations direct, I'm sorry. Mars is going to station direct on January 12th. That is big because we've been working with the Mars retrograde story since end of October, maybe even prior if you've been tracking Mars in Gemini since August. So that will be very big and something, probably one of the bigger events of January. The other one is Mercury is going to be stationing direct at the very end of Capricorn season. That's going to be on January 18th. This is a little sneaky, but I'm going to throw this in there. The day after the sun enters Aquarius, 2 days, Uranus is going to station direct. And so we have 3 planetary stations in January. And after that, all planets are going to be direct for 3 months. So what that means is quickness. Things are moving forward. So if you're feeling a little frustrated that things aren't moving forward right now, a lot of us are feeling that Neptunian fog from the Mars retrograde, or we're just feeling a little stuck or aimless, or we just can't figure it out. That's the Mars retrograde. So going back to my point about Capricorn season and planning, it's like the saying goes, measure twice, cut once. So that's what we're doing here is we're taking our time. We're conserving our energy and plotting our revenge. Not really revenge, but we're plotting our like spring, basically, how we're going to spring back from this retrograde. Because I keep telling you, the Mars retrograde is the pulling back of the slingshot, and then we're going to fly. But it's going to take a minute. So do the Capricorn methodical thing right now. Take your time and be smart about it. So for right now, that's your Capricorn season astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you later. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your inbox, subscribe to my mailing list where you'll be the first to know when my books reopen in April when I return from maternity leave. I may not be as active on here in February and March as we welcome baby Aquarius into our family, but you can also follow along with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine.